Did Pakistan's mediator minister's explosive rant just expose a secret anti-Israel agenda, leaving President Trump completely fooled during crucial negotiations? Hours before critical Iran-US talks in Pakistan's capital, a senior minister launches into a tirade slamming European Jews and derails fragile negotiations. Pakistan's nuclear-armed defense minister brands Israel evil, cancerous, exposing deep bias from the supposed neutral mediator nation. Is Pakistan in the dock again, after swirling rumors of deliberately messing up ceasefire proposals to sabotage peace? Did Pakistan's critical error spark the deadly truce confusion, directly leading to Lebanon's brutal attacks and the new Hormuz blockade? A fresh diplomatic tussle erupted after Pakistan's Defense Minister Khawaja Asif posted a sharp outburst on X, touching off a swift backlash from several parties. The controversy gained momentum after Asif described Israel as evil and a curse for humanity, using highly charged language. Asif's remarks came just hours before Pakistan was scheduled to host indirect U.S.-Iran talks aimed at building on the recently agreed-upon two-week truce. Khawaja Asif said, and I quote, "Innocent citizens are being killed by Israel, first Gaza, then Iran and now Lebanon. Bloodletting continues unabated. I hope and pray that the people who created this cancerous state on Palestinian land to get rid of European Jews burn in hell." Unquote. The statement triggered a forceful response from the Israeli Prime Minister's office, which called Asif's language outrageous, and condemned the personal nature of the attack. Netanyahu's office also slammed Pakistan's broader mediator role, arguing that such rhetoric undermines its credibility as a neutral intermediary in the sensitive peace process. Israeli officials questioned how Pakistan could be seen as a balance facilitator when its own senior minister was openly using language that many interpreted as a call to delegitimize or destroy the Jewish state. The row comes only days after Islamabad was widely credited with helping to arrange the initial two-week ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran, showcasing its diplomatic ambitions in the region. Israel's foreign minister, Gideon Sa'ar, went further, labeling the defense minister's post as blatant anti-Semitic blood libel, and accusing Pakistan of harming its own peace effort standing. Gideon Sa'ar said, and I quote, "Calling the Jewish state cancerous is effectively calling for its annihilation. Israel will defend itself against terrorists who vow its destruction." Unquote. Amid a fragile ceasefire, Donald Trump slammed recent reports by the New York Times and CNN on April 9. Trump said the coverage of Iran's 10-point truce proposal by the two outlets was fake and misleading to the public. His comments came as confusion over the ceasefire terms fueled tensions, leading to fresh military operations in the region. On April 8, Israel launched nearly 100 airstrikes on targets in Lebanon in just 10 minutes, prompting Iran to call it a violation. The US and Israel maintained that Lebanon was not part of the truce, but Iran insisted it was and simultaneously blocked the Strait of Hormuz. Reopening the strategic oil shipping route through the Strait of Hormuz had been a key condition set by Trump for halting hostilities. Earlier, reports highlighted confusion over the nuclear enrichment clause in the 10-point framework intended for U.S.-Iran talks. While the English version of Iran's document omitted references to nuclear enrichment, the original Farsi version reportedly included it. U.S. President Donald Trump wrote, and I quote, "The failing New York Times and fake news CNN each reported a totally fake 10-point plan on the Iran negotiations which was meant to discredit the people involved in the peace process. All 10 points were a made-up hoax, evil losers. Make America great again," unquote. CNN rejected the allegations made by President Trump, insisting that it had received its information from verified sources. The network said, "We received the statement from official Iranian spokespeople who are known to us," defending its reporting. Trump, however, insisted that Tehran's only official response was a brief English statement issued by Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi. The president's comments came after U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance revealed that he had seen 3 different versions of the 10-point deal. Vance explained that the differing proposals had fueled confusion over the terms of negotiations and the scope of the ceasefire. He added that the first proposal, allegedly shared with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, had been immediately rejected. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance said, and I quote, "The first 10-point proposal was something that was submitted, and we think, frankly, was probably written by ChatGPT to Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and it immediately went in the garbage and was rejected. A second 10-point proposal that was much more reasonable and that was based on some back and forth between us, the Pakistanis, and the Iranians," unquote. Vance's comments on confusion over the ceasefire raised questions about the role of the mediator. His claims sparked speculation that Pakistan may have shared differing proposals with both sides, fueling the dispute.
But we thankfully at this point, I think, have a ceasefire, thanks to the leadership of the President of the United States. We have the Iranians promising to open the Straits of Hormuz, and we have a negotiation that's supposed to start this weekend. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case. What we said is that the ceasefire would be focused on Iran, and the ceasefire would be focused on America's allies, both Israel and the Gulf Arab states. Now, that said, the Israelis, as I understand it, again, I'm supposed to get a fuller report when I get on the plane, have actually offered to be, frankly, to check themselves a little bit in Lebanon because they want to make sure that our negotiation is successful. Fundamentally, the Iranians have got to take the next step, or the president has a lot of options to go back to the war. The more that they're willing to give us, I think the more they're going to get things out of this negotiation. I encourage the Iranians to come to the table seriously. We've seen some signs that they're going to do that. We've seen some signs of bravado. Fundamentally, we're in a good spot. They're reopening the straits. We have a ceasefire. And frankly, if they break their end of the bargain, then they're going to see some serious consequences.
Netanyahu has also floated the possibility of peace talks with Lebanon, even as Iran has reacted sharply to what it sees as another U.S. policy U-turn in the region.
I want to tell you there's no ceasefire in Lebanon. We are continuing to strike Hezbollah with force, and we will not stop until we restore your security. Following repeated appeals from the Lebanese government to enter into peace negotiations with us, last night I instructed the cabinet to open direct negotiations with Lebanon in order to achieve two goals. 1. The disarmament of Hezbollah. 2. A historic, sustainable peace agreement between Israel and Lebanon.
At this time, I say to Iran's southern neighbors that you are witnessing a miracle. So see correctly, understand correctly, stand in the right place, and be suspicious of the promises and lies of the devils. We are still waiting for a suitable response from you to show you our brotherhood and goodwill. This will not happen except by your opposition to the arrogant, who will not miss any opportunity to humiliate you and exploit you. We have not and do not seek war, but we will not give up our rights in any way. And in this regard, we are considering all the resistance fronts as a whole. Dear nation, although with the end of the official period of mourning for the martyrdom of our great leader, it may shed the attire of mourning, its resolute determination to avenge his pure blood, and that of all the martyrs of the second and third imposed wars, remains alive in its soul and heart, and it will persistently be on the lookout for its fulfillment.